Hi, everyone. Today is the UN Refugee Day. There are 84 million refugees around the world these days, and the number is growing daily. While the root cause of becoming a refugee is varied, there is one thing that is common to all of them. The small likelihood for them to go to higher education. Only 5% of the refugees succeed in going to higher education. Well, but we all know that higher education is the best way for them to get out of their situation. Because refugees, many of them stay for years and years and years in refugee camps, cannot go back to their country. Nothing can help them better to build new life as higher education. But in most cases, universities are close to refugees, and they do not have the opportunity to attend higher education. You know, UNHCR started a campaign to have 15% of the refugees going into college by 2030. That actually means that if we have over 30,000 universities in the world, every university should only take 15 students in order to reach this number. And no university in the world can say that they cannot take additional 15 students for free and help them be part of their universities, have better future for themselves, but also benefit their own students. Because if they take in these 15 students, their students will learn about what it means to be a refugee, will be familiar with what's going on in the world, and learn new cultures and learn people who really had a different life, different circumstances, and succeed in spite of this situation. So we encourage every university to do the same, and we ourselves committed to UNHCR to take 25,000 students by the year of 2030. We already have over 10,500 refugees, and we continue to grow. Not every university can take 10,500 refugees, but every university can take 15 refugees. So some can take big numbers like ourselves, but not everyone. And those who cannot, take the minimum to ensure that refugees will have a future. It's our own world, it's our own future, and they deserve the opportunity. We deserve to have a better world. It's a human rights issue. And I would like to use this opportunity and invite 4 of our students, refugees, to share their stories, to see whom we're talking about, what they're going through, and why we need to open the gates for them to study with us. I would like first to introduce you to Yaroslava. She is coming from a small village in Ukraine when she firsthand experienced the war. She's a UoPeople student in computer science, planning to become a security analyst when she graduates. Thank you for joining us and agreeing to do it.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a greatest pleasure. I've been looking forward to this meeting today.
Can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you have done before the war?
Yeah, as you might know, my name is Yaroslava. Originally, I am from like a small village, which is very close to Mariupol. I was about to start actively looking for a job in spring, but unfortunately, my plans were interrupted by this cruel invasion.
Can you describe what happened when the war started?
Oh, as you know, like Mariupol is pretty close to the Russian area, and actually we got occupied pretty quickly. and no electricity, no heating, no any communication, any connection with the world. So it was basically like we try not to die. We were hiding in this basement, and one of the shells from this battle has fallen pretty close to our basement, like 40-50 meters. And we realized if this shell got into the house where we were, into the basement, we would all die. Then afterwards, for our own risk, we tried to flee out of the occupied territory. And actually, we got lucky, and we are now safe in Western Ukraine. I always considered myself as a very brave person because I traveled a lot. Like I volunteered in different countries, and I never thought that I will be afraid of a thunder, and lightning. We had a big thunderstorm, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, and I spent this time home under the blanket, just trembling, because it reminds me of all of that sounds which I experienced when we were occupied, when we were there. We saw the tanks with all of that Z letter, and we saw the soldiers, some dead people, of course.
I'm happy at least that you are now safe, right? So this is, So tell me, how did you find University of the People?
Actually, it was during the COVID times, and it was one of the advertisements somewhere in the internet. And I started to look for other opportunities. I took it maybe as a sign that maybe I need to change my life. And I got interested in programming pretty much. And University of the People has computer science degrees. So I decided that's fate. So I have to try. I tried. And actually, university is now a core for me to be in a good specialist in computer sciences, because I think that's important. University now is in the top of priorities for me now, because after that I started thinking a lot, and I decided that I don't want to give up on my career goal to become a security analyst.
So Yara, what can I say? First of all, I hope that the war will end soon, and
thank you very much.
And you will be able to go back to your village. Yeah. And I also, I'm sure that you will continue your studies. So I wish you a lot of luck. And to be able to finish your education and have a great future. Let me also introduce you to Mong. Mong is a business administration student with UoPeople who is a refugee from Myanmar who lives in Bangladesh. He could not attend higher education, neither in Myanmar nor in Bangladesh, until he found University of the People. Can you tell us your name and where you are from and your age?
My name is Mong. I am from Myanmar. Now I am living here in Bangladesh as a refugee. I am 21 years old.
I would like to start, if I may, by asking you about your history, as a child in Myanmar.
In Myanmar, when I was living there, it's very, very a good place because our country, Myanmar, is naturally very beautiful. And after just completing class 10, I am not allowed for further study.
So you were not allowed for higher education?
Rohingya people were not allowed to study higher education in Myanmar.
Can you tell us a little bit about what forced you to leave Myanmar?
Actually, Rohingya people is a minority group in Myanmar. So, but we were living peacefully. We do have peace. We were living happily with all other ethnic groups living in Myanmar. But unfortunately, the policy of the country's government changed against Rohingya people, and they started organizing anti-Rohingya campaigns because we are a minority and they do not want us to live in the country. Then they started planning a structural violence. Then the people started fleeing the country because, it's very scary. The situation is getting very worse. Then I also joined the people because I am also worried that there is no safety of my life in Myanmar because they are killing people every day. We come together with lots of people, like hundreds of thousands of people. We come together and we come with no any transport, with no any car or any bikes like that thing. We come on foot. We walk for 15 days to reach in Bangladesh from our country.
How did you find out about University of the People?
When I talked with one of my colleagues who work with Human Rights Watch, she sent me the link of this university. Then I quickly go to Google it. Then I go to the links to search. I thought maybe it is not the university that I am finding for, because I never heard about any online education like this way. Then I studied more about this university. I go to the website and I studied about the catalogs. I studied there more about the University of the People. Then I thought, yes, maybe it is a good university. Then I got an interest to apply there. When I was applying, then it is asking me application fees for the first time, but I am not able. Then I made a request to my admission advisor. Then finally, I got a grant of my application fees. As I mentioned there that I am a refugee and not able to provide application fees. Then I also applied for the scholarships. Then finally, I also got a grant for my scholarship. Then finally, I started starting at University of the People with no any money.
What are your plans for the future?
My plan for the future is improving a community-based organization. For now, I already have an organization. We call it Rohingya Student Network. So my plan for the future is improving the work of my organization to fight for the rights and justice of the Rohingya people.
I think it is important for the world to hear you. So thank you. Let me introduce you to Zakia. Zakia fled Afghanistan, her home country, when she was 3 years old, 20 years ago, after the Taliban killed her father. She came back to Afghanistan to pursue higher education. However, when the Taliban took over the country again last year, she had to quit school. She came to UoPeople to pursue her higher education. That's the only hope she had to achieve it. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for agreeing to talk and to share your story. Let me start by asking you about your history.
I was born in 1997 in Ghazni province of Afghanistan. And when I was 3 years old, I moved to Pakistan because of the situation which was very bad in Afghanistan because of the Taliban 22 years ago.
Why did you leave Afghanistan? What did the Taliban do to your family?
Because, my father, he was a clergy and he was teaching in a mosque, the children, girls and boys. He wanted to educate them to just in order that they can learn something. And Taliban, they are against studying, struggling, improvement, education, each and everything. They are against these things. And that's why they just killed my father, and that's why we moved here, because We were afraid from them what will they do to us after killing my father. And that's why we moved here and we left our life, each and everything we had there.
Okay, and
Yes.
can you share with us your life in Pakistan after you flee from Afghanistan?
As you know, while we enter a country as a refugee, we face many problems, financial problem and each and everything, education problem, each and everything, you know. Especially in these Asian countries, there are a lot of problem for the people. They didn't let us to enter the university as an Afghan refugee. And that's why when I finished my school, I moved to Afghanistan again in 2017. On that time, I got married and I moved there to just continue my studies and to complete my university, my field, and to just going forward to my dreams, my plans. But again, I could not complete there again because of this situation. I was studying there BBA and it was my sixth semester. We were near to our final exam. Because of this coming of Taliban, I left each and everything and I just moved here.
Moved back to Pakistan, actually.
Yes.
So what do you do now in Pakistan?
As you know, the condition of refugee here is so bad and they don't let us here freely. And the police, the governor, they act with us so badly. And right now I am free at home. I am doing nothing, just I'm busy with my studies, University of People.
How did you find out about University of the People?
Yes, I wanna thank you from the depth of my heart that you have given us such an opportunity. You are a great person in the world. Believe me, you have helped Afghan women so much. And I want to just warmly thank you so much that you have given us this opportunity somehow that we can continue our study just to be close to our dreams. I found out about this opportunity from Facebook, from social media.
Do you have any plans for the future?
With this studying, if I get my degree, inshallah, one day, I can just continue my way. I continue my way. I will help Afghan women as much as I can. I want to take their hand, the poor people, the Afghan women who cannot do anything with their life, with their studies. I want to support them with this degree, with these studies.
Zakia, thank you so much. And as you said, inshallah, and I hope that your dreams will come true and that the situation will get better and that you will have a good life. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Finally, let me introduce you to Abdullah. Abdullah's father was killed in front of his eyes by shelling when he was running to help neighbors who were hurt by previous shelling. Abdullah spent 5 horrible years trying to overcome this experience until he got himself together and became University of the People student. Well, from there, the road was open for him to be accepted to Columbia University. Let's start, and can you tell us about what's your name, country, age, a little bit about kind of the formal details?
My name is Abdullah. I'm from Deir ez-Zor in eastern Syria, and I'm 25 years old at the moment, and I live in Syria as an internally displaced person.
Can you share with us what happened during the war?
My father, who's a medical doctor, he refused to leave the city. And he, for the past year, as you know, the uprising started in 2011. But until 2012, the summer of 2012, he was treating patients for free. We were rushing to provide aid after we heard screams from a house that was struck by an artillery shell. And sadly, the second shell fell right next to us. Somehow I emerged without a scratch, and my dad passed away immediately with an injury to the head.
What happened after you lost your father?
After losing my dad, I actually had to, we stayed there for 5 days. We were hearing about a massacre that was happening on the edge of the city in Al-Qusur and Al-Jura. On the 5th day, we had arranged to leave our home with our neighbors in their car. And the shock was so much that we forgot we even had a car ourselves. And I have only one sister. And so I left with my sister and my mother with our neighbors to the relatively safer neighborhoods of the city.
You're smiling, and I admire your smile describing what you have gone through. Let me make a switch and ask you, how did you find out University of the People, and why did you decide to join UoPeople?
By that time, I had somehow lost hope to an extent, because I had some certain personal crises, and I had no education. I couldn't fulfill my dream because I couldn't leave Syria due to financial constraints, and I couldn't follow it here. So I saw the announcement actually on Facebook at the time, and I applied through them, and actually I got accepted. I think it was really, really fast that I got accepted with a full scholarship. And ever since then, I've been reintegrated with a rigorous educational system. I've met amazing professors. There were several problems from my end, because right now I'm turning on LED lights. There is no power right now, and my router is working with a power bank. And I kept facing those problems, but I had the support of great professors who, even when I would sometimes miss a deadline due to these problems, or last semester, for example, the internet broke during the final exam just as I logged in, so I couldn't even take it. But the professors were always there. They showed me that I can do extra work. They pointed me where to do research, what to study more, what to focus on. That's the thing, is that the University of People did not only give me a chance, but it also reintegrated me with my own abilities and with a rigorous educational system. And for that, I am ever grateful.
What about Columbia University? Please share with us.
I've been dreaming about going to Columbia University actually since the year of 2006. My father always promised me to support me in studying whatever I want. So just follow your dream. And I was determined to become a theoretical physicist. I got admitted at Columbia University, the School of General Studies, which was a very happy news. I got it on Friday the 13th of this month.
I'm so happy to have you as our student. And you are a living proof of being a refugee. Does not mean that you are incapable of reaching heights. Good luck, and thank you for everything. We've just seen 4 amazing students, University of the People students, who succeed in spite of their life circumstances, against all odds, to make better future for themselves, for their families, for their countries, and for the world. I said that I encourage universities to take students. Remember, refugees are us. Any one of us can find himself one day as a refugee, and any one of them had normal life before the situation changed and they became refugees. We should help them. It's a basic human right to help refugees, and by helping them, we're not only helping them, their families, their countries, we're helping us, we're helping our world. And as I mentioned before, nothing can benefit our students, our university students, than exchanging thoughts, learning to know refugees, helping them, and letting them helping us with understanding the world. So please, today is the Refugee Day. Today is the day where we should all pledge for UNHCR. As I said, 15 students per university will bring us to the number, the 450,000 students that UNHCR want to achieve by 2030. We, University of the People, pledged for 25,000 students. We already took 10,500 refugees to study with us. What about you? Now is the day. Please do it. Thank you for everything you're doing to make our world a better place.